What is up, Pokemoshpitbeta? My name is Dittomywiz, and welcome to Pokemon Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. Today's battle was versus StratoArctica9000, aka the Sea Elements guy found on Wi-Fi battle 692. But anyways, let's just get into this unused tier match that I felt was worthy enough to be showcased on Pokemoshpitbeta. So anyways, I'm going to be leading off with my No Guard Dynamic Punch Golurk as he leads off with his Bronzong. Now first turn I went for the Dynamic Punch because I figured I can maybe prevent him from going for the rocks and therefore my Togekiss would be safe. But he actually does break through the confusion and he's able to go for the Stealth Rock, and therefore my Togekiss is probably screaming at me because I forgot to bring a Rapid Spinner on this team. So anyways, I'm going to switch out going into my Pharisee because I figured I could basically wall this whole entire Bronzong set, and I doubt that he has Hidden Power Fire, so this is a very good counter to this Bronzong. Now at this point I figured I could maybe get the switch in or just hit this Bronzong with the Thunder Wave, so I'm just going to stay and go for the Thunder Wave. And he actually goes for the Earthquake, and that does nothing at all. So now that this Bronzong is Parafusioned, I know that he's not going to stand and try to go for more Earthquakes. So I know that he's going to switch out, and I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave as the Channeler comes in. So the Channeler is now crippled, and I'm just going to go into my Togekiss because I predicted him to go for the Energy Ball or the Shadow Ball, trying to get my Slowbro switch in, as he actually does go for the Shadow Ball, so that is very good for me. So now seeing that he does switch out on this next turn, I know for a fact that he is most likely Choice. Whether he is Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, I don't know at this point. So I'm just going to go for a Thunder Wave on the switch out, and I do get this Weavile on the switch out, so that means that I have half of his team already paralyzed, and this is a very good lead for my Dynamic Punching Pokemon. So anyways, I'm going to switch out, predicting him to go for the Ice Shard, as he actually predicts me this time, and he goes for the Pursuit. So that means that at this point, when I come in, I'm not going to be enough that I can roost off safely, but I am going to be living the Stealth Rock though. So anyways, go into my Slowbro, and at this point I'm like, okay, I've been Thunder Waving each and every single switch out, so I'm just going to go for a Scald this time, maybe trying to hit the Weavile if he did not want to switch out this turn. But he actually does go into that Raikou, which does have the pressure. So on this turn, I actually predicted him to overpredict, and he does go for the Calm Mind, trying to think that I'm switching out. But I'm actually going to stay in, go for the Thunder Wave, and now the thing is paralyzed. So that is very good. 4 out of 6 Pokemon paralyzed, and my Dynamic Punches are going to be very effective on his team. So now I'm just going to go into this Togekiss, and I live it barely, so I'm just going to falter it off because I do not know if he has the Aura Sphere, and he's just not using the Shiny Sprite, so I'm not going to go into my Pharisee yet. And now at this point I'm like, okay, since I fluttered off my Togekiss, I'm just going to go into my Nidoking and just go for the Substitute, hoping that he might switch out or hoping that I can get the Paralyzed Hacks, as he actually just goes for the Extra Sensory. So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm not going to waste my time by just going a lot of substitutes and wasting my HP, so I'm just going to kill it off with the Earth Power, and that is done deal. Bye bye Raikou. So that thing is dead, and in comes this Mew. Now this Mew probably takes up around 4 minutes of this battle because you do not know how big of a problem this thing was. So anyways, I go into my Pharisee because I predicted him to go for the Psychic or the Zen Head, but either way I figured this is a good scouting switch in, as he actually goes for the Swords Dance. So I know that he's going to go for the Drain Punch, trying to kill me off, and I'm just going to go into my Golurk to take that. And now I know that he's going to go for the Sucker Punch, so I'm like, bam, middle game Stealth Rock, let's go. So get the Stealth Rock up. Now I'm going to switch out because I figured I could go into my Slowbro, because the best thing he could do is probably Sucker Punch me. However, I'm not going to go for the attacking move yet, and I'm just going to go for a Thunder Wave. And even though he does have Synchronize, I figured Thunder Wave could help me out later on in the game, and it actually does. So he goes for the Zen Headbutt right there, as I do go for the Thunder Wave, and that is simple as heck. But anyways, now on this next turn I'm going to switch out and go into my Machamp because I figured that he might go for the Sucker Punch, predicting me to go for the Scald, because at that point I probably could have lived the Sucker Punch. So I went into my Machamp as he actually goes for the Zen Headbutt, so I lose out my Dynamic Punching Pokemon on this turn right here, and that was really bad for me because now that is only left up to Golurk for Dynamic Punching. But anyways, I go into my Nidoking, and I figured I could just go for the Substitute in case if he wants to go for the Sucker Punch, I could get up a free sub, and if he wants to go for the Zen Headbutt, then oh well. But anyways, at this point I'm like, okay, since he did give me up that free sub, I'm gonna go for the most powerful move on my Nidoking, and that is my stab, super effective, not even earth power. So brings him low enough, and I don't want to play mind games with this move right here. So I'm gonna switch out, go back into my Slowbro, as he actually goes for the Drain Punch. Now notice that this Drain Punch actually does heal him up a little bit more than Life Orb takes, so that could be useful information later on in the game. Now he is going to be able to go for another Drain Punch on this turn right here, and I figured if I slack off on this turn right here, I could be at a full enough HP where I could just go for a Scald and then bring it down and kill it, maybe. So that's what I do. I go for the slack off right here, and it doesn't bring me all the way full, but it's close enough. So I think that this is good enough that I can go for the Scald. And right here he goes for the +6, and I'm like, whoa man, whoa, why are you trying to sweep me so hard? But anyways, I go for the Scald right there, almost bring it down, and at this point I'm like, okay, he's probably gonna go for the Drain Punch because he knows that he's gonna die to the Life Orb. So I'm just gonna go back into my Golurk, and if he goes for the Sucker Punch, and I'm just gonna go for a Stealth Rock first turn right here because I figured that maybe I could get him to play mind games. So he actually does get paralyzed on the time that I actually do attack, which is really unfortunate for him because now it would have been a double down, but instead I still have my Golurk up. So in comes this Blastoise, and I'm gonna go for the Dynamic Punch, and I'm pretty sure all of you know what's gonna happen. Yup, that's right, I actually confuse hacks this little Blastoise right here, and therefore I can kill it off on this next turn, and he's probably face palming at this point, but I'm actually really sorry for the hacks, and it's actually a hacks based team if you didn't realize. But anyways, kill off that Blastoise, that thing is dead, and now he goes into his Bronzong. So I'm like, okay, if I Parafusion this thing to death, I basically have the game in the bag, and I could basically win it. So I go for the Dynamic Punch, and he does hit himself in the confusion on this turn right here. However, he does get the leftovers, which does heal him up a little bit more, and he is able to live this next Dynamic Punch barely. I'm not too sure if it was just max damage, but either way he does break out the confusion and the pair hacks, and he goes for the critical hit Gyro Ball, which totally mattered obviously, but anyways, I deserve that, and now my Golurk is dead. But his Bronzong is at a low enough HP where I can just go into my Nidoking, and I can just go for a substitute in case he wants to switch out or anything like that. So that's what I do, as he actually stays and goes for the Earthquake. Not too big of a problem because I still live. And now I can just go for a Fire Blast, not fearing that he can go into his Chandelure because I can outspeed it anyways due to the pair hacks. So I'm going for the Fire Blast, kill off that Bronzong, and that thing is dead as well. So this is looking okay for me. But now he goes into this Weavile, and the obvious play is going for the Ice Shard. So I'm thinking that he might go for the Pursuit, trying to get my switch out, but he actually does go for the safe play right here, and he goes for the Ice Shard. So now I only have my Slowbro and my Ferroseed left, and I know that he has Brick Break most likely because he does have the Life Orb set. So I'm gonna go into my Slowbro on this turn right here, and this is the game changing move. He goes for the Pursuit, crits me, and this is at the point where I cannot switch out or slack off because I'm so low and paralyzed, and therefore he can be able to kill my Slowbro off with another Pursuit at this point, and therefore it will be a 1 versus 1 versus Chandelure and Ferroseed. So at this point that crit did really matter, but after all the hacks that I did on him, it kind of made up for it. But he is going to be able to win off this game. Sorry for the spoilers, but anyways, that was a very good battle, StratoArctica9000, and I hope to battle you again. And yeah, so thank you all Pokemoshpit viewers for watching. Feel free to check out my channel if you like, and don't forget to subscribe to Pokemoshpitbeta. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.